Hi, this is Matt with howtosurvivestuff.com. Today I'm going to be talking about a bug out bag checklist, essentials for your tactical supply and survival. First of all, to give you an overview, what is a bug out bag? Well, you've probably heard the term 72-hour kit. It's pretty much the same thing. A bug out bag contains everything you and your family would need in order to survive for the next few days to a week. This could be because of a disaster, a terrorist attack, social unrest. It should give you enough to get to a safe place. Think in terms of being able to just grab and go. You're not going to have time to go around your house and collect all the things you think you might need. So the idea is that you have this ready beforehand so you can just grab and go. Now, you have a couple options when it comes to creating a bug out bag. You can either do it yourself, put it together yourself, or you can buy a pre-made bag. Really, it just depends on what type of person you are. The do-it-yourself route may require you to buy a bunch of different items, and this actually might end up costing you more in the long run, but the advantage there is that you have everything exactly how you want it. Buying a pre-made one will probably save you some money because you just get the cost savings that come with buying things all together and at once. So it's really up to you. I want to refer you to my blog post on bug out bag checklist because there I go over a lot of the things I'm talking about here in this video, and there's a few different pre-made bug out bags that I talk about that I recommend that you can buy. So let's get into it here. Item number one on my list is food. Obviously, that's a very important thing to have. Think in terms of a 3 to 4 day supply per person, and you want to pick food that's non-thirst provoking, that has high caloric content per unit of weight, and that won't spoil. Your bug out bag may be sitting in your house for a while, for a couple years before you ever actually use it. So you just want to put food in there that's not going to go bad while it's sitting around. One suggestion I have is to get some MREs. These are meals ready to eat, and they're pretty lightweight for how much caloric content they have, and they're really easy to prepare, and they store for a long time. Moving on, item number two, water and water purification. Obviously, carrying around enough water for a few people for 3 to 5 days is going to be heavy and kind of impractical. So what I would suggest is you fill a canteen or maybe two per person, so that they have some water to start with, but then that you just have a water filter and some sterilization devices in your bag as well, so that you can find water along your way and make it safe to drink. To learn more about water filtration and sterilization devices, you should read my blog post on water purification. I talk about some of the different sterilization devices and also recommend a few different things that a few different products you can look at. This slide was actually accidentally had some of the stuff from the prior slide, so just ignore those last few points. My bad. Okay, item number three, guns and ammunition. Think in terms of protection and hunting. Protection, it just really depends what the survival situation is. There may be social unrest, and in that case, there are going to be looters and people you're going to have to protect yourself from. And so think of, in this situation, think in terms of a pistol with a high caliber. Then for hunting, probably a .22 caliber rifle will do well for hunting small animals like squirrels and rabbits. This will supplement your food supply. If you have to, you end up having to stretch this out to a week or longer, you may have to hunt for food. And with these guns, I think having 50 to 100 rounds for each gun is probably good. Obviously, the more rounds you have, the heavier your bug out bag is going to be, but I think a good starting point is 50 to 100 rounds per gun. Next, item number four, fishing and trapping gear. If hunting is impractical, or maybe you just don't have any guns, fishing and trapping gear is a great way to supplement your food supply. Get small, compact gear just so that it's lightweight, so you can not be weighing yourself down too much. And if you don't know how to fish or trap, then that's just another skill you're going to have to learn. I suggest you visit my site, howtosurvivestuff.com. There are blog posts on both of these items. And you can also just search the web and search YouTube and learn as much as you can about these things. Moving on, item number 5, shelter and clothes. A tent is probably going to be a good idea, and you should look for a lightweight tent. And depending on how many people you're going to be providing for, you may need a larger one, but there are even lightweight, larger tents, so look around for that. For clothes, think rugged style wilderness survival attire like army gear. You don't need it with your outer clothing. You don't really need any changes of clothes if you're going to be wearing that type of rugged style clothing. We're not talking about living in comfort here. We're just talking about survival. But you do want to have a few changes of socks and underwear just because that will prevent injury to, you can, if you're walking around a lot, you can have your feet blister up and it can be really uncomfortable. So you'll want to have a couple changes of those things. And then, think about the elements. If you live in a place where the winters get kind of cold, you'll need to have stuff that's going to keep you warm, like a thermal blanket. Also, if it could be rainy and you're going to want to keep yourself dry, so look for a good rain poncho. For your footwear, try to get army style boots, just that are really durable and will protect your feet well. Moving on, item number 6, matches and a stove. You're going to want to be able to cook your food, and also you may need to keep warm at night. So look for a compact propane stove. There are a lot of good ones out on the market. And then for your matches, keep them in a waterproof container. You should also bring with you paper, just scratch paper like newspaper, and some kindling so that you can start a fire. It's always hard to find this stuff, so those are good things to have. Item number 7, a good survival knife. There are many, many, many good uses for a survival knife. I suggest you read my blog post on survival knives. Just a summary of a few of the things: self-defense, skinning, cutting, digging, opening, making kindling for your fire. There's just a lot of things that a knife can do for you, and it's an absolute must for your bug out bag. Make sure it's durable and it can withstand heavy use. Again, in my blog post about survival knives, you'll learn a lot about what are the different things you ought to be looking for when you're shopping for a survival knife. Item number 8, a first aid kit. You'll want bandages, disinfectant, suture kit, gauze, painkillers, antibiotics, essential medication, maybe medication that you're on. You want to make sure you have enough of that. So I also suggest you read my blog post on medical supplies. Moving on, item number 9, a map and a compass. You have to realize that in a situation where you'll be using your bug out bag, there may not be any cell phone reception. Your smartphone won't work, and you won't be able to use Google Maps to get to where you need to go. So what you should do is you should map out ahead of time and plan ahead what is your safe zone, what's the place you're going to head to in case of an emergency. And you should map this out on a physical paper map, and you should actually practice navigating your way there with just a map and a compass. Maybe one Saturday or over a weekend, just practice navigating your way there without a smartphone, without a car, and just see how well you do. That's the last item I have on my list here. Obviously, there are a bunch of different things you can have. I just think those are the most important to start with. And this concludes the presentation. This has been Bug Out Bag Checklist, Essentials for Your Tactical Survival and Supply and Survival. This is Matt with howtosurvivestuff.com. Thanks for watching.